Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Pimlico Racecourse here on Friday. It is May the 17th, 2019. It's Black Eyed Susan Pimlico Special Day from Pimlico, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also, join me tomorrow for my Preakness Stakes preview video. Also tomorrow, if you're interested, a great Group 1 in England from Newbury, the 1 mile lock-in stakes. Great race. Join me here on YouTube for a preview of that one also. But today's card from Pimlico is one of the best cards I've ever seen from the old Hilltop. So let's get onto it. We're gonna look at all the stakes races, and guess what? The weather looks good. It's not going to be like last year where we had like 5 inches of rain or something stupid like that, or 5 feet of rain. So let's get onto it. We'll start off at race number 7. Like I said, I'm going to look at all the stakes races. Races 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So races 7 through 13. Let's get on to it. The 7th race from Pimlico, it's the Ski Pat Stakes. It's going for a purse of $100,000. Race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 10 horses heading the post. The distance of ground here of 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Pimlico main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. And I should show the diagram. It just gives me that little extra second to look down the notes. Just bear with me. My top selection, I'm going to go with the three horse Shalon. I'm going to go 371 in the trifecta. 371 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 3 horse Shalon. 5-year-old mare by Dialed In. Arnold Delacour trains. Javier Castellano gets the leg up. The horse hasn't been seen since the 3rd of November. That came at Churchill. 7 furlongs in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. And the horse finished second by a head that day. She looked like she was going to win easily, but Shamrock Rose had a great turn of foot. Got this horse at the wire. This horse ran a great race, though, for finishing second, closing up well. Before then, the TCA at Keeneland, 6 furlongs, October the 6th. First off the break, she finished second by a head. She wasn't 100% fresh that day, but she really closed up well. It was a good effort. And then the regret at Monmouth, 6 furlongs, June the 17th. She won by 4 lengths. She stalked, she got the lead, and she took off easily. Didn't even get the stick. It doesn't get any easier than that. And then she ran last year's Vagrancy at Belmont, 6.5 last May, where she finished second by 1.5 lengths. She stalked, she had the lead, but then she got caught. She has a tendency when she gets to the front end to kind of stop, but she just couldn't keep going there. But I like her a lot here today. She's speedy enough to win, but she showed last time out she could close from a little bit behind. Off the break, like I said, I like her a lot. I'll use her here along with the 7 horse Maybe Wicked at a small price of 5 to 1, and I mean a small price considered to the other horse I have at 6 to 5. But this 4-year-old filly by Miz and Mast, I think you get a piece of it also. She hasn't been seen since the 13th of December at the fairgrounds, going 6 furlongs on the slot. But she has a great running style, coming either from a stalking position or setting the pace. There's going to be a bit of a pace in this one, and I think it could set up towards a horse like her at 5 to 1 against stakes quality horse for the first time. I'll take the chance with her. But I'm more confident though in Shalon than I am with the 7 horse Maybe Wicked. But I'll definitely use her both on the pick 5 that begins with this race, which is 300,000 guaranteed. But to recap my selection for the 7th from Pimlico, it's the Ski Pat Stakes. I'll take the 3 horse Shalon as a top selection. I'll go 3-7-1 in the tri-cash trifecta, and I'll use 3-7 in the multi-race. So now let's get to race number 8 from Pimlico. Race number 8 from Pimlico, it is the Miss Preakness Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $150,000. Races for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 13 horses. Keep in mind, the number 13 horse isn't also eligible, so we'll have a field of probably 12 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the Pimlico main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. My top selection here in the Miss Preakness, I'm going to go to the number 7 horse, Miss Imperial. I'm going to go 7-11-2 in the tri-cash trifecta. 7-11-2 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 7 horse, Miss Imperial. For the pick 5 here, this is a very wide open race, so I'm going to use all 3 of them in the pick 5. But the top selection, the 7 horse Miss Imperial, 3-year-old filly by McLean's Music. Jason Savers trains. Iridates Jr. gets the mount. The horse hasn't been seen since the 23rd of March. That came at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs in the Cicada. The horse finished second by 3/4 lengths. She broke well that day. She dueled on the front end. She looked like like she was gonna go away with it, but then she just didn't have a lot left in the tank. She got caught right at the wire, but she ran her heart out. I think today, if she runs a race very similar to the to her maiden victory, or excuse me, to her victory in late December at Aqueduct, I think she could win this race. Before then, the Ruthless Stakes at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs, January 27th. She finished second by 1 3/4 lengths there. She just kind of was off and on lead early on. She just never had the good run, but she didn't run half bad there. And then in Optional 75 at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs in the mud, December 22nd, she won by length. She sat back early, she got the lead, and then, she took off clear. She was getting pulled up a little bit at the end, but she still took off clear. Very good run. And then she broke the maiden at Churchill very nicely, going 3/4. A little bit wide, but she took off clear again. I like her a lot at 8-1. Good poster. I think she get a piece of it, along with the 11 horse Fighting Mad. This 3-0 filly by New Year's Day. Fighting Mad, owned by the Gary and Mary West. How appropriate, because they've been, in the news a lot lately, Fighting Mad. But Bob Baffert trains. Florent Giroux gets the leg up. This horse is going to have to overcome the wide post today, but she is good enough to win. Definitely good enough to win. Her most recent outing came 30th of April at Churchill. 6 furlongs, allowance race, 95,000. Her first race as a 3-year-old, first race since August. She won by length that day. She sat back early after not the best beginnings, but she slowly moved her way up, and then she just took off clear at the end. First off the break, that was a very good run. They're stepping her up to back to 3-year-old company, to stakes company for the first time. Don't think that should be a problem. I just think the only problem for her today will be the wide post trip, but I am confident she could probably overcome it. Her only race before that came at Del Mar on the 25th of August. 5.5 furlongs in the main special weight, 60,000, and she won by a nose that day. She sat back early, she got the lead, and then it looked like she kind of gave up, but she got back into it late in the race in the final half furlongs, and she held on to a very gritty performance there. It was a good run. Like I said, I like her coming back here today. She's been training well since the last run, and I think she is good enough to win, but the biggest question will be the wide post, right? You don't see horses win that wide here at Pimlico. You want to save some ground here, but I'll use her on the ticket along with the number 2 horse, Confifi. This 3-0 colt by Into the Mischief. Brad Cox trains. Javier Castellano gets the leg up. This horse is first off the break most recently. Came at Keeneland, 6.5 and option 75 claimer, and she did everything right on the front end. After not the best beginning, she didn't break well, but she got to lead afterwards, and then she just took off clear. It was a very good run at the end. Before then, the Frisette at Belmont, 1 mile, October the 7th. She finished 4th by 9 lengths. She didn't break all that one, was wide, and I don't think she stayed the trip. It just wasn't her day to win. And then at Churchill, 6 furlongs, main special weight, 55. She won by 9 1/4 lengths there, and she was on lead all throughout. She took off clear. She's another horse from the rail. She's a good poster. She has the speed to win, and I'll definitely use her on the multis. So to recount my selection for the 8th from Pimlico, it is the Miss Preakness Stakes. Gonna go with the number 7 horse Miss Imperial. I'm gonna go 7-11-2 in the trifecta to race number 9. Race number 9 from Pimlico. We're going to lawn. It is the Hilltop Stakes. It's going for a purse of $100,000. This race is for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a very good field of 14 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Pimlico turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile turf course. The rail's at 0 feet. My top selection here in the Hilltop, I'm going to go to the number 2 horse, the 2 horse Nova Soul. I'm going to go 2-6-5 in the tri-cash trifecta. 2-6-5 tri-cash trifecta. I'm going to use all 3 of them again in this pick 5 because it's a very wide open sequence. But the top selection is the 2 horse Nova Soul. The trio filly by Soldier Hollow. Chad Brown trains. Ira Ortiz Jr. gets the leg up. First time Lasix. First start stateside. Most recently ran the 24th of October at Deauville in France. 1 mile on firm ground down the straightaway in the Group 3 Prix de Reservoir Stakes. The horse finished 3rd by a length. Had a little bit of a turn of foot that day, but they were going quite slow for the mile trip. I think coming here, faster pace in front of him. It's going to be the first time he goes around a left-handed bend. It shouldn't be a problem, though. I think he'll run well here in stateside. When Chad Brown gets these horses from France, they usually improve a lot. Before that, this horse ran the 22nd of September at Longchamp on soft ground, 1 mile and a maiden race. He won by 2.5 lengths there. He stalked early on, he got the lead, and then he just took off clear. He was just much the best. It was a very good run. And then at Deauville on the 21st of August on soft ground, 1 mile down the around the bend, not the straight mile that day, it was around the bend. And a maiden race, he finished third by 6 lengths there. He stalked early on, and he just. How do I explain his run? If you can't watch the replays, I know a lot of a lot of the ADWs here in America don't offer the French racing. No, Express Best does because that's what I use. But if you can't watch the replay for that race, the best way to explain his stretch run, go find the replay for Too Darn Hot in the Dante yesterday from York. How green he was, because this horse was just as green, if not greener. He just did not change leads that day, and that cost him, because if he did, he would have got into it a lot better, possibly won. But he's still very inexperienced horse in that spot. But ever since that race, he's been getting better with every race. He's been training well here in New York and then in South Florida. I think he'll run a big race. He's a good post stretch. 7-2, I'll use him here, along with the number, I'm going to use the 6 horse also, Make Me Dream. 3-0 Philly by Quality Road. Christophe Clement trains. Joao Rosario gets the leg up. This horse is most recent out. He came 10th of April at Aqueduct, 1 mile inner turf course, in opposite 75. And the horse finished second by 3/4 length. Sat back early, had a little bit of a turn of foot at the end. First off the break, ran a good effort, and then at Tampa, 1 mile in the main special weight 20,000. The horse went by 5 1/4. He sat back, slowly moved his way to the front end, and then he took off clear. Against nobodies, he still ran a very good effort. He's had a good workout since his last run. I like his running style on this turf course. Has a good post draw. Yeah, I'll take him also at 8-20. He's a live horse here, along with the 5-horse Dog Tag. They're roughly by Warfront. Chad Brown trains this one. Javier Castellano gets on this one. This horse hasn't been seen since the 30th of September. That came at Belmont, mile 16th inner turf course in the Grade 2 Miss Grillo. On very wet ground, the horse finished 4th by 8 3/4 lengths, Penn newspaper record. He didn't break all that well, was wide, just never got into it. Keep in mind, newspaper record went on to win the British Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf at Churchill very impressively, but this horse just wasn't getting to her. But before that, the P.D. Johnson at Saratoga on yielding ground, a mile 16th on the inner lawn. She won by length that day. She sat back early, she found her way through, and she held on to a very nice closing victory on a very unusual style. Good run breaking the maiden there also. And then before that, she ran Saratoga 7 furlongs off turf, main special weight, finished 4th by 2 lengths. She didn't have the best trips and kind of interfered with a few horses. She was disqualified, and it was the right call there. Well, not disqualified, but she was placed up. But it was kind of a weird, messy race, and I don't think she really liked the dirt. But I think coming here back to turf off the break, I think she's another horse that could get a piece fit, so I'll use her on the ticket. So to recap my selection for the night from Pimlico, it's the Hilltop. I'll take the number 2 horse, Nova Soul, as a top selection. I'll go 2, 6, 5 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, and I'll definitely use all 3 of those numbers in my pick 5. To Race number 10 from Pimlico. It's one of my favorite races of the year. It is the Grade 3 Pimlico Special. It's going for a purse of $300,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. 14 horses are going in this race. The new distance of ground this year of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/4 on the Pimlico main track. 2,000 meters, a mile and a quarter main track. And like I say, I usually show the diagram to look down at my notes because I'm stupid. I can't do 2 things at the same time. But I want to show the diagram for this race also because Pimlico hasn't carded a mile and a quarter race since 2000. I did go back through the historical charts, and it looks like 2000 was the last time they carded a mile and a quarter race in the main track. And it's good for them. I like these longer distance races, and it's good for them to add the distance here. They got a good field of horses, and hopefully they could bring back this race back to its former glory. Just to think, just 10 short years ago, or 11 short years ago, this race was Grade 1, and you had some great horses running it throughout the years. But this year, it's a good field, going a mile and a quarter opposed to the usual mile 3/16 trip. My top selection here, I'm going to use the number 13 horse, You're to Blame, as a top selection. I'm going to go 13 to 8-1 in the superfecta. 13-2-8-1 Super to the multi-race pick 5 wager now. I'll definitely use the 13 horse, my top selection. It'd be stupid if I didn't use my top selection, but I'll use the 13 horse, I'll use the 2 horse Rally Cry, and I'll use the 8 horse Tenfold. We're going to go 3 deep here again, but the top selection is 13 horse. You're to blame. This 5-year-old horse by Distorted Humor. Tom Pletcher trains. Jose Ortiz gets the leg up. The post draw scares me a little bit, but since he has some front end, he can go to the front, and if he leaves from the outside, I think he'll save enough to round to held on at the end. But his most recent outing came the 14th of April at Gulfstream, a mile on the 16th and off 6-2 claimer. First off the break, he won by a length. He sat back early, slowly moved his way up, and he just took off at the end. A very good run off the break. Before that, at Belmont, 30th of September, mile 5/8 in the Temperance Hill Invitational, he finished second by 1.5 lengths behind Rocketry. He was very wide that day. Rocketry just had the great turn of foot. This horse just didn't quite stay the trip, but he still ran a massive race. And then at Parks, Philadelphia Park, a mile and a half in the Grade 3 Greenwood Cup, he won by a neck. He stalked early on. He fought a good race, and he held on to a very good victory, beating War Story. He's running back in this one. I think the mile and a quarter trip is actually right in his wheelhouse. Mile and a half might be a little bit too long. Mile and an eighth might be too short. I think, it's just right for him here today. And, the quality group he's facing is good for him. He already has a race under his belt this year, and I think, like I said, he's a good horse, and I think he'll definitely get a good run here today. So at 5-1, I'll use him. He's going to be my best bet of the day from the card from Pimlico. Out of all the horses that I'll be betting today, I'm not going to be betting a lot. I'm going to play the pick 5, and I'm going to go quite massive on this horse here. I like him a lot. I'll use him as top selection, but say he doesn't show up. Just say that happens. I think the 2 horse Rally Cry, the stablemate for Tom Pletcher, get also a piece fit. 6-year-old horse by Uncle Mo. Johnny V gets the leg up. This horse most recently ran the Charlestown Classic at Charlestown, a mile and 8th, April the 20th. The horse finished 4th by 6 3/4 lengths there. This horse stalked early on, but then just kind of weakening out of it. Those 3-turn mile and 8th races can tire a horse out a lot. I don't think he was 100% fit there. I think here second off the break, he'll just run a major better race. Before that, Saratoga mile and 8th in the Grade 1 Woodward, he finished 4th by 3 lengths there. He had the impossible task breaking from post position number 14 of 14 going a mile and 8th of Saratoga. With all being said and done, I thought he ran a massive race. He finished 4th by 3 lengths. He left off the gate. Mike Smith rode a great race. He was very wide throughout the run. He didn't weaken out of it until the final 1/8 of a mile, but he ran a good effort, I thought, there. And then Saratoga, 7 furlongs obsolete claimer. First off the break, he finished 4th by 16 lengths. He was wide, and he just needed the race desperately. I think you'll see a fresh horse here again today. He has a good post rush. I love the mile and a quarter. And I think at 9-2, he's another horse that could get a piece fit. I said earlier, I'm going to play a win wager on my top selection, Your Blame, here, and a pick 5. My other wager of the day is I'm going to probably do a nice exacta here, Rally Cry, You're to Blame, possibly box it, but these 2 horses I really like. I think the 8 horse Tenfold get a piece, but also 4-year-old colt by 4-year-old colt by Curlin. Steve Asmussen trains. Ricardo Santana Jr. gets the leg up. We all remember Curlin winning the 2007 Preakness here at Pimlico. But this Tenfold, he ran most recently in the Oaklawn Handicap at Oaklawn, a mile and 8th on the slab, and he ran crap. He ran horrible. He finished 7th by 6 3/4 lengths. He was wide, and he just did not handle the course. I don't know. Was it the wet course he didn't handle? It was just a weird run. He should have did a lot better that day. Before that, the Fairgrounds mile 16th obsolete claimer, he finished 4th by 3/4 length. He just stalked most of the race and just never excelled. He kind of lugged in a little bit. Again, it wasn't the day to win. And then the Travers at Saratoga, he finished 7th by 13 3/4 lengths. He stalked early on, but then he just never got into it. And then the Jim Dandy, he won by 3/4 length. He stalked, he got the lead. Again, he drifted a little bit, but he still held on to a very good victory. My thoughts on him today is he'll run a massive race or he won't. I'm going to put him on the ticket for insurance, but out of the 3 horses I'm putting on the ticket here, he's the most leery of. I'm the most leery of, but if he's right today, he can win. But to recount my selections now for the 10s from Pimlico, it's the Grade 3 Historic Pimlico Special. As a top selection, I'm going to go to the number 13 horse, You Are to Blame. I'm going to go 13-2-8-1 in the superfecta, 13-2-8-1 super. I'll go 13-2-8 in the pick 5. So now let's get to the co-featured 11th race from Pimlico. The 11th race from Pimlico, it's the Black Eyed Susan Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $250,000, racing for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 9 horses going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Pimlico main track. 1,800 meters or mile and 1/8. My top selection in the Black Eyed Susan, by the way, my grandmother's favorite flower. She always said when she passed away, we have to bury a lot of Black Eyed Susans across the yard and by her gravesite. When she passed away a few years ago, of course, we always did that. And every time I see this race, I always think about her. Hopefully we'll get a little lucky with this one. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 8-horse Point of Entry. Excuse me, Point of Honor, not Point of Entry. He's from a few years ago, but the 8-horse Point of Honor. I'm going to go 862 in the tri-cash trifecta. 862 tri-cash trifecta. In the multi-race here, I'm going to go too deep. I'm going to use the 8-horse Point of Honor and the 6-horse Always Shopping. So 8-6 for me in the multis. But the top selection, 8-horse Point of Honor. I keep wanting to say Point of Entry, but I'm going to restrain myself. But it's 3-0 Fillyback Curlin. George Weaver trains. Javier Castellano gets the leg up. The horse's most recent appearance came the 30th of March at Gulfstream, mile 1/16th in the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Oaks, and the horse finished 4th by 2 lengths, and he was just wide and didn't really show it up. It wasn't the day to win. Before that, at Tampa, mile 40 in the Suncoast, the horse won by 2 3/4 lengths. He sat back early, went away with it at the end. It was a very good run, and then before that, in the main special way to Gulfstream, mile 16th off the turf, the horse won by 6, sat back early, slowly moved away up, and then went away with it. I think, the last time out at Gulfstream, the horse, didn't have the best of trips, but I think coming here, a little softer competition, I think she'll run a lot better race. Just keep in mind, Champagne Anyone, who ran the Oaks a few weeks ago, didn't run a great race there. Did back a few bucks on her, but she didn't run anything. Dunbar Road, the second place finisher, I thought ran a massive race there. And Cookie Dough, who's running third in this one here today, ran a great race in the front end, but I just don't think she's going to stay the trip. But I think this one, with a lot of pace in front, I think she could get a good closing kick. So at 5-2, I'll use her, along with the 6-horse Always Shopping. It's really about awesome again. Rapoli Stable owns this one. Tom Pletcher trains. Manny Franco gets the leg up. Rapoli and Pletcher won this race in 2014 with Stop Charging Maria, who the following year won the Breeders' Cup Distaff at Keeneland very nicely. Well, not very nicely for some people. If you're a stellar win, you didn't think it was very nicely, but that's for another day. But the horse's most recent outing, 6th of April, Aqueduct, mile 8th in the Grade 2 Gazelle. The horse won by 1 3/4 lengths. She was very wide that day. She bumped a little bit in the stretch run, but she got the victory at the end. It wasn't the world's best performance, but it wasn't the world's worst. She had to fight a good race there. I think he was second off the break. Another horse that will like a good pace in front of her. I think she could get a good run. Before that, 3rd of February at Aqueduct, mile 8th in Bashanda, she won by 1 1/4 lengths. She sat back early, she slowly moved her way up, and she got away with it. A very good run. And then at Aqueduct, 1 mile on the main track in main special weight, 68,000. She finished second by 3/4 lengths. She didn't break all that well, which probably cost her at the end, but she flew off at the end. A very good run. Another horse, she'll like the trip. She's a good poster, and 4-1, I'll definitely use her to end off the pick 5. So to recount my selection for the 11th from Pimlico, it's the Grade 2 Black Eyed Susan. As a top selection, I'll use the 8-horse Point of Honor. I'm going to go 862 in the tri-cash trifecta. Let's go with the 8 and 6 to end off the pick 5. If you've been following this pick 5, I think for about 50 cents, it's going to cost you around the $54 area, which is, I think, affordable. If I can afford it, you most definitely can afford it, with me being a broke college student. So now let's get to race number 12 from Pimlico. Race number 12 from Pimlico, it's the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. It's going for a purse of $100,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We're supposed to have a field of 9 horses, but we have 2 withdrawals here. The 3-horse Bound for Nowhere will be a scratch, and the 8-horse Pure Sensation is going to be a scratch. Pure Sensation would have probably been my top selection. After those 2 horses scratched, I had to really go back to the drawing board because this race is now very wide open. They're going the distance of ground here of 1,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 5 furlongs on the turf course. 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs turf course. And this race will always be remembered as being always a great race, but for last year being one of the slowest 5 furlongs on turf I've ever seen in my life. I believe they went 106 on for 5 furlongs last year on a very heavy turf course. The winner was Imprimis, I think, or Imprimis or something like that. I think he won a few weeks ago at Keeneland, and I believe he's pointing towards Royal Ascot in a few weeks to run in the Diamond Jubilee. Good luck for him. He is fast enough to win out there, but still, it's still a tall order. But my top selection here in this year's Jim McKay Turf Sprint, named after a great broadcaster. Top selection, I'm going to go with the 2-horse Tricks to Do. I'm going to go 257 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 257 Tri-Cash Trifecta. To the multi-race, I would go 2-5 here if you're going to play a late pick 3 or pick 4, whatever. But the top selection, Tricks to Do, 4-year-old filly by Into the Mischief. Arnold Delacour trains. Javier Castellano gets the leg up. This horse hasn't been seen in about 3 weeks. 20th of April, Laurel, 5.5 in the King Leatherberry Stakes. Got it on third try. The horse finished fourth by 1 3/4 lengths. Was drawn too wide that day. Had a little bit of a turn of foot that day, but he probably need the run first off the break. I think second off the break, quick pace in front of him. I think he'll run a lot better. Before then, the Pelican at Tampa, 6 furlongs, February the 16th. The horse finished fourth by 9 lengths and just had nothing. I don't think he likes the dirt. I think his better races have come on the lawn. And then before that, Absolute 32 at Tampa, 5 furlongs, January 12th. The horse won by 3 1/4 lengths. He sat back early, slowly moved the way up. Dueled for the final half, and then he took off. A very nice run, and then he ran the turf dash. There he sat back, closed up well. He got beat by Vision Perfect, but I thought he ran a good run. He's a horse, like I said, his better races have come on turf. He's going to see a quick pace in front of him, and I think he closed up well at 6-1. But also, he could sit on the front end if he really needs to. I'll use him here on the ticket, along with the 5-horse New York's Finest, 5-year-old Gallon by City Zip. One of the worst decisions, I think, of the 21st century was running City Zip in the British Cup Mile in 2001, but that's for another day. I believe they ran him, Balto Star, in that year's race, and both those horses just ran shit. I can't, well, those two decisions were the worst. But talking about another British Cup Mile disaster I always thought of was the 2003 British Cup Mile when they ran Peace Rules in that race. I was 7 years old at the time, and I knew that horse was not winning at all. I believe he finished 13th or 14th, so he beat one horse home, but that was one of the worst decisions ever. But back to the New York's Finest, this 5-year-old Gun by City Zip. Linda Rice trains. Luis Saez gets the leg up. This horse's most recent out came 20th of April, Laurel, 5.5 in the King Leatherberry Stakes. The horse finished 6 by 2 1/4 lengths. Another horse that was parked in the parking lot to begin the race, was wide throughout, had a little bit of a turn of foot, but it wasn't anything, to go home about. But first, since September, he needed the run. Before that, September at Monmouth, 5.5 optional 30 claimer. The horse won by 3 1/4 on lead all throughout. He just kept going and going and going. A very easy run. And then Saratoga, 5.5 on the Mellon, op 6-2 claimer. The horse finished ninth by 17.5 lengths. Didn't break all that well and just had a trouble trip. And Rocket Heat, the old veteran, had the better run there, holding on at the end, finding a good run. And then at Monmouth, 5 furlongs, Lowndes race, 39,000. The horse won by 3 1/4 lengths on lead all throughout, a very easy race. He's facing a lighter group of competition today with the 2 withdrawals, and I think on the front end he could be speedy enough to win. I'll use him here 15-1. I think with the withdrawals now, his price will probably go down around to at least 10-1. But he's another horse that's still loaded here. I'll definitely use. So to recount my selection for the 12th from Pimlico, it's the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. I'll use the 2-horse Tricks to Do as a top selection. I'll go 257 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, and I'll go 2-5 in the multis. So now let's get to the 13th. Race number 13 from Pimlico. It's the Allaire du Point Distaff. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $150,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses heading to post, a distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Pimlico main track. 1,800 meters, a mile 1/8. Top selection, and a horse I really like here is the 6-horse Golden Award. I'm going to go 6-4-3 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 6-4-3 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, 6-horse Golden Award. A horse I would single the multis. 4-year-old flip by Medaglia d'Oro. Belmont trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the leg up. I know her 5-2 is a bad price, but I still think she'll run well because her most recent out, and she has so many excuses at Keeneland on the slop. April 19th, mile 16th in the grade 3 Double Dog Dare. She finished 4th by 6.5 lengths, and she hated the slop. She watched the replay. Her head was moving around. She was wide. She She didn't like it. I think here, second off the break, Dry Racecourse. I just think she'll run a major improvement of a race. Before that, at Gulfstream, 1 mile off 6-2 Claimer. She won by 3.5 lengths there. She stalked early on, a little bit wide, but that was okay because she still took off clear at the end, and it was just an easy run. 91 by her. It was a very good run, like I said. And then at Churchill, mile 16th Lounge race, 78,000 during Breeders' Cup weekend. She won by 1.5. She sat back early. She closed up well, a little bit wide, but again, it was a very good run. And then at Belmont, 6.5 main special weight, 75,000. She won by 5.25 lengths. She's very wide. She had to be used a lot in the straightaway, but she still took off clear. Keep in mind, the second and third place finishers out of those races went on to win next start out. And then before that, at Saratoga, is going 7/8 in main special weight in early July. She ran a good second place finish there. She was on the pace early on, kind of got caught in the stretch, but she still ran well. She likes the mile on the 8th trip. She's bred to go it. She's, last time out, she needed the run, didn't like the kickback. I think today, front end will be good for her, and I think, like I said, 5-2. I think she's just going to run massive, so I'll take her. So to recount my selection for the 13th from Pimlico, it's the grade 3, Allaire, DuPont, a Distaff. I'll go with the 6 horse, Golden Award. I'll go 6-4-3 in the TriCast trifecta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me tomorrow for my Preakness Stakes preview video. Good luck, everybody.